By steadily building cyber capabilities now, China ensures that when the time comes, it will already have the tools, access, and operational knowledge to achieve dominance in the digital battle space. The international community often focuses on the visible side of Chinese military growth, new fighter jets, expanding naval fleets, satellite launches, but the cyber arsenal may be the real game changer. Sure, it can be used preemptively, defensively, or as a retaliatory measure, and it requires no public declaration of intent. By the time the rest of the world realizes such weapons are in play, it could be too late. This invisible build-up directly connects to the next layer of China's strategy, embedding influence into the very architecture of the global technology supply chain. Because building powerful cyber tools is only half the battle, deploying them effectively often requires having a pathway inside the target's networks before the conflict begins. That's where China's dominance in certain tech sectors becomes a force multiplier, enabling its arsenal to be used with surgical precision when the moment is right. And so, as we move forward in examining how China is secretly preparing for cyberwar, we must remember the most dangerous weapons are not always the ones we can see. They are the ones that have been quietly built, patiently tested, and hidden in plain sight, waiting for a moment of geopolitical tension to be unleashed. While the companies involved have often denied intentional wrongdoing, the pattern is enough to raise alarm in intelligence circles worldwide. And here is where it connects back to China's growing cyber arsenal. Having sophisticated digital weapons is only half the equation. You also need access routes to deliver those weapons into the heart of your target's systems. By embedding itself in global supply chains, China is essentially pre-positioning the digital equivalent of special forces deep inside foreign territory, ready to act the moment they're given the signal. This strategy has another layer: economic diplomacy. By becoming an indispensable supplier to developing nations, providing everything from telecom networks to cloud storage, China builds both dependency and goodwill. Many of these countries will hesitate to cut ties or scrutinize equipment too closely, because doing so could jeopardize economic and political relationships. In effect, the supply chain becomes not just a technical pathway, but a diplomatic shield. From a military planning perspective, this is brilliant. From a security perspective, it's chilling. It means that cyber warfare preparation is happening in plain sight, under the cover of legitimate global trade. And because it's framed as business, it is far harder for other nations to rally a strong, unified response. The implications are staggering. In a future cyber conflict, this embedded infrastructure could be used to disrupt power grids, jam communications, interfere with financial transactions, or even cause physical damage to industrial machinery. The world could wake up one morning to find critical systems offline, not because of a sudden, visible attack, but because someone quietly flipped switches that were installed years earlier. And this brings us to the third and final pillar of China's preparation, the human element. Because no matter how advanced the weapons or how deeply embedded the infrastructure, they still require skilled, disciplined, and loyal operators to make them effective. China isn't just building tools and planting access points. It's cultivating an entire generation of cyber warriors trained to exploit those tools with precision and purpose. If China's cyber arsenal is the weapon and the global technology supply chain is the delivery system, then its cyber warriors are the operators, the people who will decide how, when, and where to deploy those capabilities. And in modern cyber warfare, human skill is the ultimate force multiplier. Force multiplier. China is not leaving this to chance. It is investing heavily in creating a disciplined, ideologically aligned, and technically elite cyber force capable of executing both offensive and defensive operations at a scale and sophistication few other nations can match. This effort spans education, military training, and even talent recruitment from the private sector, all woven into a long-term national strategy. The process begins in China's universities, many of which are closely linked to the People's Liberation Army, PLA, and the Ministry of State Security, MSS. These institutions are not just teaching computer science, they are running specialized programs in network security, cryptography, artificial intelligence, and cyber operations, often under the banner of a national defense or information security. Students in these programs are given access to cutting-edge technology, hands-on hacking labs, and real-world penetration testing scenarios. By the time they graduate, many have already been involved in projects direct supporting state cyber initiatives, IBER initiatives. From there, the most promising recruits are funneled into elite PLA cyber units such as Unit 61398, which Western intelligences have long identified as a hub of Chinese state-sponsored hacking activity. These units are structured much like traditional military divisions, with ranks, chains of command, and mission-focused teams. But instead of tanks and rifles, their weapons are malicious code, zero-day exploits, and sophisticated infiltration techniques. So, what sets these cyber warriors apart is not just their technical skill, but their strategic mindset. Training emphasizes the integration of cyber operations into broader military and geopolitical objectives. This means that they are not simply taught to hack in isolation. They learn to coordinate cyber strikes with psychological operations, misinformation campaigns, and even kinetic military actions. The goal is to create a force that can wage full-spectrum information warfare, disrupting enemy systems while shaping public perception and sowing confusion. A critical component of this is ideological conditioning. China's leadership understands that loyalty and alignment with national goals are essential in a domain where operations can be executed from a laptop thousands of miles from any battlefield. Many cyber recruits are taught from day one that their work is not just technical, it is patriotic. It is framed as a duty to protect China's sovereignty, resist foreign interference, and advance the country's rise as a global power. The talent pipeline doesn't stop with the military. Government-sponsored competitions, such as national hacking contests and cybersecurity or capture-the-flag events, serve as both skill-building exercises and recruitment drives. The best performers are often quietly approached with opportunities to work on classified projects or join state-affiliated teams. Some are offered positions in research institutes where they develop new attack tools and defensive measures. Others are placed in civilian roles within state-owned enterprises, where they can operate in the gray zone between private industry and government operations. China also taps into the private tech sector for talent, often through policies that encourage companies to share skilled employees or contribute technology to national security programs. This is made easier by the legal environment in China, where companies are obliged to cooperate with government security requests. As a result, there is a constant exchange of knowledge and tools between the commercial and military spheres, creating a cyber force that benefits from the speed of private innovation and the resources of the state. An increasingly important aspect of training is psychological operations, the art of influencing and destabilizing an adversary not just by attacking systems but by shaping perceptions. Chinese cyber warriors are being taught how to run coordinated disinformation campaigns, amplify divisive narratives on social media, and exploit cultural and political fault lines in target nations. In an age where public opinion can shift policy faster than a missile strike, this is a powerful tool. And here's where everything ties together. The cyber arsenal provides the technical capabilities. The supply chain footholds provide the access points. The human operators provide the judgment, timing, and creativity needed to turn those capabilities into decisive action. In a conflict scenario, a PLA cyber team could, for example, use pre-positioned backdoors in foreign telecom equipment, from the supply chain strategy to silently reroute or intercept communications. At the same time, other units could unleash targeted ransomware on critical infrastructure while launching social media campaigns to erode public trust in the government's ability to respond. These would not be isolated strikes, they would be synchronized moves in a much larger game plan. Wofer in plan. China's leadership knows that technology alone is not enough. In cyber warfare, it is the human factor, the ability to think strategically, adapt quickly, and exploit the enemy's weaknesses that ultimately determines victory. By systematically training and cultivating a new generation of cyber warriors, China ensures that when the time comes, it will not just have the best tools and the best access, but the best people to wield them. This is the final piece of the puzzle. Together, the silent cyber arsenal, the embedded supply chain influence, and the trained human operators form a triad of digital power, one that is being assembled quietly, methodically, and with an eye toward long-term dominance. Unlike all the most dangerous strategies in history, it is unfolding in ways that are often invisible until it's too late. If we fail to recognize and respond to this preparation, the first time we see its full scale may be in the middle of a crisis. The lights go out, the networks fail, and the information we rely on is no longer trustworthy. By then, the cyber war will not be beginning. It will already have been won.